Hey, what's up? Today I would like to do something a little bit different. I want to talk about all the tips and tricks I can think of for YouTube success. So you might not be particularly impressed by the size of this channel. If you don't follow my main channel, I have over 200,000 subscribers on there. I've got many videos with multiple millions of views, and the channel makes a decent amount of money. Also, all of that success has pretty much come over the past year. So I went from around 2,000 to 200,000 subscribers in the span of 1 year, which I think is really good growth. And I've learned so much over the past year that I wish I knew when I was getting started. So I'm going to share all of those tips with you now. I hope some of you find it useful. I know a lot of you that watch my videos do your own thing on YouTube, and I know some of you really struggle and have been doing it for quite a while without getting a lot of results. So I'm going to be really no nonsense in this video, not going to sugarcoat anything, just going to give you straight to the point all of the tips that I know, and you can pretty much apply this to any kind of channel. Doesn't need to be like a fitness or bodybuilding channel like I have. Okay, so getting started, got some notes here. First of all, if you haven't started making videos yet, just really briefly for those of you who are just thinking about getting into YouTube, the biggest tip I can give you is just do it. Just, Nike, whatever, just do it, right? Get straight into it, jump into the pool and start making videos. Don't get this paralysis by analysis where you're thinking for months and months at a time, oh, I really want to do a YouTube channel, but I don't have that viral video idea. Just forget about all that. The first idea that comes to your mind, the first thing that inspires you, go with it and try to make the video. And the reason I say that is because, guys, the reality is if you haven't made videos before, your first videos are gonna suck. That's just how it works. You don't have experience making videos, so your initial videos, they're not gonna be that good. That's how it works. They're not gonna be good and they're not gonna get a lot of views. So just, internalize that before you start making the video. Don't expect a lot from it. Expect to learn how to make better videos, because the best way to learn to make better videos is to make videos, okay? So it's just this process that you need to go through. It's the initial learning curve, right? There's very, very few people that upload their first video or their first 10 videos and have any kind of success with that, right? Usually your videos suck and they slowly get better and better and better until finally you find some kind of success on YouTube. So the most important thing is to just get started and try to make better and better videos. Now, assuming you've already started, assuming you've been making videos for a while and you maybe don't get the kind of views you wish you were getting, one thing I'll say is there are a lot of people that don't actually care about, being a YouTuber, or they don't care about making money on YouTube. They just make whatever kind of videos they enjoy making. They don't care how many people watch them. That's totally fine. If that's you, great. Do whatever you want with your videos if you don't care how many people are going to watch them. But if you're doing YouTube because you actually want to maybe make some money off of it, or you want to build up an audience or whatever it is, then you need to realize that everything on YouTube depends on the YouTube algorithm, right? And this isn't just YouTube, this is TikTok, Instagram, all of social media. Now it works with algorithms. And this isn't how it worked 10 years ago, but it's how it works now. Everything depends on YouTube's recommendations, what YouTube puts in front of people. And what I see a lot of people fall into this trap, a lot of these smaller YouTubers where they've been grinding, just putting out videos for months or years and not a lot of people are watching them. They get this mentality where they think they're cursed, right? Like the algorithm, it just doesn't like them, or they're, got some kind of shadow ban, and that's why no one's watching their videos. It's because they're just so unlucky and the algorithm doesn't favor them. You got to get this kind of mentality out of your head, because the stone cold reality of this is that if your videos are not getting recommended by the algorithm, it's because your videos are not good enough to get recommended by the algorithm, guys. It's that simple, okay? Yes, there's some fringe, 0.1% of cases where you're making some very controversial political subject or whatever that might get, unfavorable treatment by the algorithm. But I promise you, 99.9% of cases, if your videos are not getting recommended, they're not getting the views you wish they got, it's because your videos are likely not good enough, okay? So get that through your head. If you've been making videos for 2 years, you have 200 subscribers, and your videos get 10 views and no one comments on them, guys, you're doing something wrong, okay? Don't blame the algorithm. You're doing something wrong. You need to realize that, and you need to try and fix it if you want to have success on YouTube. So understand that you need to play ball with the algorithm if you want success on YouTube, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple tips to help you make your videos more favorable for the YouTube algorithm, because I'm sure most of you already know this. Okay, so first of all, consistency. Okay, everyone says this, you need to be consistent, but yeah, it's really true, especially when you're getting started. You need to have some kind of consistency. Doesn't mean you need to upload every day, but whether you upload twice a week, once a week, 3 times a month, or whatever it is, you need to have some kind of consistency, right? Because YouTube doesn't just want people to watch one video of yours. It wants a whole ecosystem of videos that people can jump into and watch one video after another, right? In order to understand how the algorithm works, you need to try and think of it not just from your point of view, but from YouTube's point of view and Google's point of view, the people who actually make this algorithm. Try and think of it from the company's point of view, right? It's a company, they're trying to make money, maximize profits. And so how do they do that? They sell advertisements, right? The ads that show up on the YouTube videos. And in order to make as much money as possible from these advertisements, they need to keep people watching as many videos as possible for as long as possible. So they need to keep people's eyes on the platform. Now, your job as a content creator is to get people to click on your videos, watch the video as long as possible, and then hop from that video into another video of yours, into another video, and so on. So you want to have a consistent upload schedule so people can keep coming back, and they can keep, looking through your old catalog and spend a lot of time on your channel. That's going to win you a lot of points with the algorithm. And another extremely important thing is in your analytics, there are pretty much 2 things that YouTube gives you which are going to help you make your videos favorable for the algorithm. So if you jump in the in the analytics, you're going to find a lot of data, dozens and dozens of numbers and stats and lines and charts and whatever. Let me tell you, there's 2 things in there that you need to pay attention to, and the rest you can pretty much forget about, okay? The first is your click-through rate, and the second is your audience retention, okay? So first of all, the click-through rate. So this is given to you in a percentage, and what the click-through rate means is that YouTube's going to show your video to a certain amount of people. It might be 1 person or 10 people or 100 people, depending on the size of your channel. YouTube's going to show that video to someone on their phone or on their computer, and it's going to give them the option to click on that video, right? That's called an impression. When YouTube shows the thumbnail and the title to someone and gives them the opportunity to click on it, that's an impression. The click-through rate is when you take the number of impressions, what percentage of people from an impression click on the video. So if YouTube shows the video to 100 people, out of those 100 people, how many click on the video? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 5, 10, 15? That matters a lot. That's one of the most important things that you'll find on your analytics. I keep saying algorithm instead of analytics. On your analytics is your click-through rate. So you want that to be as high as possible. Now, the numbers kind of depend on the channel, what kind of videos you make. Generally, I can tell you that a bad click-through rate is anything like 1, 2, 3%. That's very bad for pretty much any channel. A good click-through rate around 10%, 8, 9, 10%, that is excellent for any channel. And then somewhere in the middle, around like 5, 6, 7, those are kind of more or less normal. If you get more than 10%, then that is awesome, right? That is absolutely a fantastic click-through rate. So that's something you need to pay attention to. And the other thing is your audience retention. So this is going to be shown to you on a graph, and it's a visual thing. You can see it in your analytics. And basically you want to have some kind of audience retention that sort of trickles down like this. That's a good kind of audience retention. Or maybe if it's a really long video and you have timestamps, then you'll see a bit of these like peaks and valleys as people sort of skip through the video. But what you don't want to have is this, where it just absolutely dies down immediately and then you have nothing. So you want people to watch through as much of the video as possible. These two pieces of information that you see on your analytics are pretty much always going to directly correlate with how much YouTube is recommending your videos. So if you have a good click-through rate and you have good audience retention on a video, that is a recipe for that video to have a lot of success. Let's say a video has over 10% click-through rate and the retention is very good throughout, let's say 60% of people who watch it make it to the end of the video. Well, that has the potential to get perhaps millions of views. So what do these two things actually tell you and how do you improve them, okay? The click-through rate is going to tell you how good your thumbnail and title is. And the audience retention is going to tell you how good the video is, how good the pacing is, how well you're keeping the attention of people watching your video. So we'll go through these points. First of all, the click-through rate. So for the click-through rate, you want to have a very good title and thumbnail. Now, this is extremely important, and people don't realize just how important the title and thumbnail actually is. So the title and thumbnail is just as important and often even more important than the content of the video. You could have the absolute best, most bomb video on the planet, but if it has a shit title and a shit thumbnail, no one's going to click on it. It's going to have a bad click-through rate and YouTube's not going to recommend it. So in terms of titles, you're going to want something that's usually not too long. So I think YouTube gives you about 100 characters for the title. Usually you don't want to use all of that. You want to make the title as short as possible, but still get your point across. And also you don't want to give away the entire video in the title, okay? So I can't tell you exactly what to do because obviously it depends on, what kind of video you make, what kind of genre you're in. But you want to make a title which is kind of intriguing, which doesn't give it all away, and make it kind of short-ish, like 50 characters, 60 characters. That's a really good title. If you make it too long, the problem is that people won't see the entire title. So if it's like 100 characters, then YouTube will show, depending on the device, YouTube will show like 60 characters and then it'll say ... right? And that's not the best. Ideally, you want your title to be short enough and to the point where people can just see it at a glance. They see the entire title, no matter what device they're on, and it gives them some sort of sense of intrigue. They're like, "Ooh, okay, this is interesting. I want to click on it and see what this is about." So, if you're gonna show something in the video, show some kind of results or whatever, don't put that in the title, right? You wanna plant the seed of there's something interesting going on in here, but you don't want to give it away, okay? And you want the title to be a bit short and, try to format it a little bit nicely. Don't do it like all caps, like you're getting screamed at or whatever. Put some thought into your title. You can write down like maybe 5 or 10 different options that you have for the title, word it a little bit differently, try some different things, and then, go by process of elimination and try to pick the best one. Or even, share them with a friend and see, which one do you think is the best title? Which one would you rather click on if you were presented with these options? So really put a lot of thought into your title because it's really important. And the other is the thumbnail, which is just as important as the title. And the thumbnails especially, I see so many people screwing up their thumbnails. Guys, you don't need to be like some Photoshop graphic design master. I'm not, and I get pretty decent thumbnails and pretty decent click-through rates. I see so many people where they try too hard to make like some crazy fancy thumbnail, but they just don't have the skill to do it. Guys, if you're not like some pro graphic designer, don't try to make some crazy complicated thumbnail. Either you need to hire someone who's good at it to design a good thumbnail for you, or keep it simple, okay? If you go look on my main channel, you look at the thumbnails, they're super simple. It's just a photo of someone, right? I use very little text. Those are good thumbnails. You want them to be simple. You want them to convey some kind of emotion to the person who spots them. You know, you want it to catch the eye, but you don't want it to be cheesy. You don't want it to have too much going on. You have to remember that these thumbnails, they're going to be tiny, right? Maybe you're editing it like on full screen, or even on your phone, you're editing it on full screen like this. But then when someone actually sees that thumbnail, it's going to be tiny, right? So you have to realize if you put like a lot of text on it, you know, you make it look like someone did it in paint and it looks just cheap, and like someone who doesn't really know what they're doing did the thumbnail, that just cheapens the entire video and people aren't going to click it, right? The thumbnail is so important to give that initial impression of the quality of video that you're putting out there. So don't use a lot of text. If you're going to use text, make it big and just a couple words, you know, 4 or 5 words or whatever, the minimum amount of text you can possibly use. Don't make it super flashy or crazy colors or whatever. You can look up which colors go with which other kind of colors. You know, if most of your thumbnail is kind of a red color for whatever reason, you can look on Google what colors go well with red. And then you want to put text on it, then make the text that color, the color that actually goes harmoniously with red. So it looks like there was some actual thought put into your thumbnail. And if you don't have the graphic design skills, then just make a simple thumbnail. It doesn't have to be crazy complicated. It can just be an image, right? It can just be an image with maybe 3 words on it or no words on it whatsoever. Go take a look at my main channel and you can see how simple my thumbnails are. Now, if you nail the thumbnail, you nail the title, you're going to have a good click-through rate. The next thing is to get a good audience retention, okay? If your audience retention looks like this, and then it's just flat, and you know, from the first 30 seconds, it's only 10% of people that are watching, and by the end, pretty much no one's watching, guys, you're doing something wrong with your video. People are not watching the video. You need to realize that the attention spans of pretty much everyone in this social media age are very, very short. So if you don't immediately capture their attentions when they click on your video, you're done. You can't wait 4 minutes to get into it. You can't have an intro that's 30 seconds long. You can't start the video off with like 2 minutes of advertisements or whatever. You need to get straight to the point. This is why a lot of channels, they do this sort of intro thing where they show like what's coming up in the video, right? And then they do like a sort of preview with the most exciting parts of the video. That's all to improve the audience retention, right? And there's a lot of cheesy things that people do, you know, where like on the shorts, for example, they'll do like a perfect loop. So like you don't even realize when it's over and you get better retention. Or people will be like, from the beginning, they're like, oh, you got to watch until the end. You'll see what I'll reveal at the end, you know. And there are all these sort of cheesy tactics that work to improve your audience retention. And you can use those if you want, but really, you don't have to. If you just make really good videos, then you'll see that they do keep people's attention. But you need to realize that the most important part is right at the beginning of the video. So the first 10 seconds, the first 30 seconds, the first minute, those are much more important than minute 5 and minute 10 and whatever. So immediately when you're getting into the video, it's got to be exciting. There's got to be things going on the screen. You've got to be speaking with an exciting tone, right? Maybe things can trail off a little bit as you get into the video, but during the first minute and the first 30 seconds especially, things need to be exciting, they need to be happening, and you can check directly. You make a video, you upload it, and then you check your audience retention and you see where it drops off. That's where you did something wrong. And you need to improve the pacing of your video to the point where people are watching the entire video. Okay? So another thing, this is more of a general thing, but you need to provide some kind of value in your videos, guys, if you want to get people to watch them. A lot of people, for example, I make sort of fitness videos, bodybuilding videos. There are a lot of people that just upload themselves lifting weights. They just film themselves lifting weights and they just upload that. Why would someone watch that over the other million people that do exactly that? Or why would someone watch you do that versus the person who already has 1 million subscribers and he has a better camera and he's funnier than you and he's more jacked than you? Why would they watch your video instead of that other person's video? And the same with, gameplay videos. There are people that just film themselves playing a game and then they upload that. And why would anyone watch your video instead of PewDiePie's video, who's, much funnier than you, is probably better at the game than you, and whatever. So you got to provide some kind of value, right? You can't just do this kind of low effort thing that 1 million other people are doing. You could maybe get started with that or whatever, just to dip your toes into the YouTube thing, but try and find some sort of value that you can provide, right? If you're just going to be doing the gameplay thing with your gaming channel, you better be like one of the best freaking players on the planet for that gameplay on its own to have any kind of value. If you're just uploading your self-training to YouTube, lifting weights, you better be one of the best, most jacked or strongest guys in the world for that to have any sort of value. If I just upload myself lifting weights, which is what I did in the beginning on my channel, no one watched that. You can go sort by my oldest videos on YouTube and you'll see they had a couple hundred views at most. No one was watching those videos because I'm not particularly jacked, I'm not particularly strong, I'm not particularly funny in those videos. I wasn't providing any sort of value, so of course no one was watching them. Then one day I had the idea to make these old school bodybuilding videos. I uploaded one, it did very well, and I started making those. And the thing is that there's not a lot of people on YouTube doing that. And so just like I found my little thing that, is kind of sets me apart from everyone else, you can also find your thing that sets you apart from everyone else. So doing that on its own is not enough. But if you found a thing that sets you apart, or where you can provide value, doing guides or doing tutorials or whatever it is that provides value to the viewer, and you try to optimize your videos as much as possible to be friendly for the algorithm, improve your click-through rate, improve your video pacing and your editing in order to get a better audience retention. You do that with consistency. You have a common theme on your channel, so you get people to watch one video after another. I promise you, your videos are going to start getting recommended on YouTube. You're going to start getting a lot more views. And if you just keep at it, you can definitely have success on YouTube, guys. So, that's another thing. Progressive overload your videos. I've got this here on my notes. If any of you do bodybuilding or you work out like I do, you'll know progressive overload. That's when you go to the gym and every time you try and do a little bit more. You try and do one extra rep. You try to put a little bit more weight on the bar, right? Just like you can progressively overload in the gym, you can also progressively overload on YouTube. So if you have that mentality in the gym, try to put that same mentality into your YouTube videos. Every single time you make a video, look at your previous videos. Just like when I go to the gym, I'm about to do my bench press, the first thing I do is I look at last week's bench press. I look at how much weight I did, how many reps I did, and I try to see how can I improve on it? Can I add a little weight today? Can I do one extra rep? Just like that, you got to look at your videos, look at your old videos, study them, and see how can you improve on it. And just every video you make, try and improve something. Try and make a little bit of a better title. Try to make a little bit of a better thumbnail. or try to, learn some new editing trick that makes your video look cleaner, or try to improve the pacing a little bit so that it's more engaging throughout. Just every video you do, progressively overload it to try and make it a little bit better, okay? And finally, the final tip I have for you guys is to use all the content creation tools that YouTube offers you, okay? So the three main ones are the videos, the shorts, and the community posts, okay? Now, most people, they either do just videos or just shorts. Some people, they do both videos and shorts. Very few people, let me tell you, very few people do videos, shorts, and community posts well. So you want to take advantage of all three of these options. You want to be making videos, you want to be making shorts, and very importantly, this is the one which no one does, you want to be making community posts. And I'm not just saying posting a selfie on the community post or shilling some sponsor on the community post. Actually, go on there and make content. A lot of people, they'll use the community post just to make these polls, like the community polls, whatever, those are fun, but it's not content. Make content for your community posts. That's something that almost no one is doing, and it's a completely untapped market. And let me tell you that YouTube really pushes the community posts. If you start doing that consistently, you put up a nice image, you put up a good write-up with actual information, actual content, guys, not just some meme, not just something funny that took you 2 seconds. Think about it. Think about how you can take the content that you make on your channel and put it into the text and image format of a community post, and do that consistently, and that's also going to get you results, I promise. And if you look on my main channel, I don't remember now in the analytics what it was, but I think I may have gotten actually tens of thousands of subscribers directly from the community posts, because I do them so consistently. I do them pretty much every day. I've got hundreds and hundreds of community posts. They get hundreds of comments, thousands of likes, and people subscribe just through the community posts, and that gets people coming back, to my channel. And it's something that I can do a lot easier than the videos. Maybe I can upload a video once a week or once every 2 weeks, but doing a community post every day is pretty easy. And as I say, it's an untapped market. People aren't doing it. So don't just post memes, don't just do these polls, actually try to make content for your community posts. And you'll see that YouTube is going to start pushing those like crazy, and it's really going to help your channel's growth. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got today. I know it's all kind of generic, but I wanted this to apply to pretty much anyone, any type of channel. And yeah, completely unedited. This was just a stream of consciousness with a couple notes here. So hope you found it useful. If you did, give me a thumbs up and see you next time.